ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the government and people of Nigeria, I welcome all participants, especially the foreign guests, to this summit. As we gather amidst the gleaming hall of the State House Conference Center in Abuja, we embark on this transformative journey with a passionate spirit of anticipation and unity. Our presence here today marks not just a convergence of minds, but a testament to our shared commitment to harnessing the boundless potential of Africa's mining and energy industries. This year's theme, Natural Resources for Economic Development, advocates for leveraging Africa's natural wealth to foster inclusive economic growth. It emphasizes that a shift towards sustainable energy sources does not compromise economic growth, social stability, or job creation. Africa holds vast potential in the sphere of local value addition. It is not merely about extracting minerals, but about processing and refining them, thereby adding significant value to our God-endowed natural resources. This approach can bolster our economies and offer livelihoods to our burgeoning population. The deliberations during these days will culminate in findings that can shape policies and regulations that can attract investment, ignite entrepreneurship, and channel the creativity of local businesses. We intend to elevate Nigeria's critical mineral resources wealth from potential to reality, creating a prosperous, resilient, and environmentally conscious future. As we gather here today, we are fully aware of Africa's challenges in the realm of power. Millions of our fellow citizens live without access to electricity, and this energy divide perpetuates poverty and inequality and limits our economic potentials. But within these challenges lies the opportunity for transformation. The present administration is unwavering in its commitment to harnessing the power of natural resources to provide clean, accessible, and reliable energy for Nigerians. Earlier in the year, we removed a segment of the power subsidies that will allow increased investments in power infrastructure. We recognize that achieving this vision requires sacrifice and close collaboration between the government and the private sector. Nigeria is indeed blessed with abundant mineral resources, and it is our duty to maximize their potential in a sustainable and inclusive manner. We understand that mining is not solely about extraction, but about creating a value chain supporting our industrialization goals. This entails mining, processing, refining, and harnessing these resources to fuel our growth. This government is fully committed to creating an enabling business environment to attract investment that encourages value addition on solid minerals before they are exported. We recognize the losses incurred from exporting crude mineral commodities and understand that it is the time to change this narrative. By doing so, we aim to ensure that our teeming youth are actively engaged in economic activities, acquiring skills, and contributing to the nation's foreign exchange earnings. Therefore, the ministry will not only issue mining licenses if they are tied to local value addition. This administration wants to make Nigeria a leader in critical metals, and I welcome the establishment of the African Minerals Strategy Group, with our minister as the first chairman of this initiative. We aim to set new standards in the mining industry and ensure that Africa gets an equitable slice of supplying the world with critical metals. And in our transition to cleaner and more sustainable energy systems, we also recognize the pivotal role that natural gas plays. Natural gas is a transition fuel that will fundamentally restructure our nation's economy. To meet our electrification targets, we must recognize the importance of renewable energy in our energy mix. Renewable energy particularly solar energy, remains the most cost-effective solution for connecting our rural communities to electricity. Over the past decade, Nigeria has attracted over $2 billion in investment in the renewable energy sector, making it a fast-growing sector in the economy. Our commitment is to ensure this trajectory and attract more private sector involvement in the renewable energy space, including manufacturing locally produced solar panels and batteries. By encouraging local equipment production, we can reduce the cost of implementation, thereby lowering the threshold of electrification. Our discussion on the energy transition must also include the significance of the petroleum industry as a cornerstone of our economy. While we strive to embrace renewable and cleaner energy sources, we acknowledge that oil and gas continue to play a vital role in our energy and economic landscape. These resources are critical not only for domestic energy needs, but also for driving economic development and facilitating investment. Our goal is to attract more investment in the oil and gas industry and grow our oil production to 2.1 million barrels a day by December 2024. Furthermore, we will invest in our mainstream and downstream infrastructure, tackle theft, and hold developers accountable for the highest environmental standards. This administration's commitment is to manage these resources responsibly, minimizing their ecological footprints and maximizing their benefits for our nation. Revenues generated will also be used for our national energy transition plan. And for Africa to fully realize its full potential and meet global climate targets, we must put collaboration at the forefront of our collective national transition plans. It is indeed inspiring to see so many international dignitaries who have answered our call to gather here today in Abuja to engage in important discussions. This administration, I want to assure you, will continue to work with the international community and our African neighbors to initiate and develop cross-border infrastructure systems that will allow goods and services to move easily across Africa and fully harness the potential of the African Free Trade Continental Agreement. Transporting natural gas from Nigeria to North Africa should be easier than transporting it to the Far East. Moreover, we acknowledge that safeguarding the environment and local communities is at the core of all our decisions on harnessing the abundant natural resources of our dear continent. We are the custodians of the offices we now hold and the land that we inherit. We must strive not to repeat the mistakes of the past, where environmental considerations were superseded by economic gains. This summit represents a critical step towards Africa's brighter, more sustainable future. Let our discussions over the next 2 days translate into meaningful actions that will drive economic growth, promote sustainability, and create opportunities for our citizens. Together, we can shape a continent that supplies the critical mineral resources required for the transition and becomes a leader in advocating for a fair and just energy transition. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it's my singular honor and privilege to declare this summit open. May God bless you.
The Vice